All right, welcome to the Here's the Deal channel. What is the deal? The deal is we want to make our world a better place. That's the goal for my social media presence. I don't care if you're talking about Twitter, which is now called X, or Facebook, or YouTube, or Instagram, or whatever. The only reason I'm here is because I want to make my world a better place. And I know that I can only make my world a better place if I am a better person today than I was yesterday. So that's what I want for everybody. I wrote in the chat, does it offend you if someone says, I hope you get the day you deserve? Put a 1 in the room if that offends you. Maybe even if it initially offends you, because I don't think people are used to hearing that, because I've been saying that lately, because I want people to think, instead of going, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? Oh, okay, see you later. It's like, hey, I hope you get the day you deserve. And it stops people in their tracks, because number one, I don't think they've heard that before, or they haven't heard it in a long time. And number two, they don't know quite how to take that. Because what I mean by it is, if you're a good person, I want good things to come to you. I want blessings to flow into your life, because if you're a good person, you're going to take those blessings and not just keep them for yourself. You're going to disperse them far and wide. Now, if you're a bad person, I can see how somebody would get offended. Wait, what was that supposed to mean? But if you're in touch with who you are, and I'm not trying to get on a soapbox rant. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I think that I feel truly humbled that there's even one person in the room tonight. But I want to make my world a better place. And the only way I can do that is to make myself a better person. And if I'm a good person, then I will probably reap what I sow. Now, the unfortunate reality in our life is there's a lot of evil people out there sowing a lot of wickedness, and they're living in the lap of luxury. And why is it that people who do bad things reap what appears to be good rewards, while people who do good things don't harm anybody, just want to be left alone? Why are they sitting in prisons? We're going to talk about some of those people tonight, and we're going to show you some 7 precise examples of how police officers not just destroyed the person's life who sat in a jail cell for no reason, but for family members and anybody that they would have touched positively in their lives. They're completely isolated in a cage somewhere while their family is left to live their lives without their loved one. All because a cop decided to do something dastardly to somebody that they wouldn't want done to themselves. So I ask you, does it offend you if I say, I hope you get the day you deserve? I'm kind of implying, I hope you're a really good person, because what you deserve is good things to come to yourself, come to your family, good things for your health. Because gotta face it, guys, what a man sows in this life, that's what he's going to reap. Whether he reaps it in this life, whether there's an afterworld, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just a fellow sojourner, just like you. I got lots of questions about a lot of things. Now, the reason I have this screen up right here is because I had a conversation today with Josh from Accountability for All. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me give Josh a shout out, because he is just hitting it out of the park with some good, let's see, Accountability for All. Let's give shout outs to where shout outs are due. What's going on? Why isn't that loading? That was ridiculously slow. Let's go to his video. And this last video right here, he went over some statistics from the Brady list. Now, I'm not going to bring those up right now. I'd rather you go to Josh's channel. I'm going to give you the link. Here's the link. Also, John Eagle's in here. If there's any other content creators in here who want to shout out, is Leroy Truth in here? Oh, Leroy Truth Investigations, who's got the golden voice. I wish I had that voice, man. I got a freaking Mickey Mouse voice. What is wrong with my voice? Why can't I sound like Leroy Truth, man? And this is Leroy Truth Investigations. I can't even imitate it. Cannot come close to imitating. So Leroy Truth has a great voice, and you should check out his channel. But Josh was talking today about the Brady list and fellow officers within police departments whose police department puts them on the Brady list, which means these law enforcement agents, these agents of the state, these protectors and servants of the people cannot be trusted. They have no credibility, and prosecutors are beholden to the system to tell defense attorneys if the cop who's basically charging them with a crime is on the Brady list. because they won't be able to take the stand because you can't believe anything they say. And yet police departments keep these people, these law enforcement agents, these badge tyrants who can't be trusted on the force. You know what that tells me? They're just a few bad apples argument goes completely out the window. It'd be like you owning a company, selling, I don't know, P-traps for, plumbing. You have a plumbing supply business, and the employee that you hired, you have three employees that you hired that are constantly stealing your stuff. They're stealing crates full of toilets and sinks and, drains and all that. And they're plundering you every single night before they go home. But you catch them, and then you put them on the Brady, the plumbing Brady list, saying they have no credibility. You cannot trust anything, but then keeping them on and then finding out later that not only are they stealing from you, they're actually deceiving customers and getting access to their accounts and stealing from them. So you got people that you can't trust within police departments that are put on the Brady list who have zero credibility. One of those, by the way, is Frank Slope or however you say, from Law and Crime Network. Officer Frank, Deputy Frank, that everybody loves. He's on the Brady list. You can't trust that one thing that comes out of his mouth is true, and yet they're going to keep him in the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department. Why? How is that to protect and serve? How is that looking out for the general welfare? How is that putting your best foot forward and getting the cream of the crop in society where they're actually going to take care of their constituency? It's not. It's the exact opposite. And it's law enforcement agents and higher ups that keep these people on the police departments knowing that they are not credible. How does that equal only a few bad apples if everybody up the chain is keeping all these people on there? As a matter of fact, there is one thing that I will talk about. Do I have that? Oh, I don't have that up. Josh showed that there are 63 people on this one particular Massachusetts police department. 63 people taken up. It depends on how big you got the screen, but it's like 10 to 28 pages filled with 63 cops that are on the Everett Police Department, Everett, Massachusetts Police Department, that are on the Brady list. 63 of them. I don't know what percentage of the entire police force that is, but I think there's only 40 or 50,000 people, 40 or 50,000 population in Everett, Massachusetts. So there's probably not, let's just be generous and give them 630 police officers. There's probably not even close to that many, but if there's 630, 63, that's 10% of the police force that's on the Brady list. And if you have that, that's 20%. It's freaking amazing that we live in a day and age where somebody could have zero credibility and still be a law enforcement officer. And then there still be lemmings out there who are leather munchers that are sitting there saying, hey, you can trust the police. Don't worry. It's not going to go bad for you if you talk to them. They're not going to pin any false charges on you. They wouldn't dare put an innocent person in prison. They wouldn't dare shoot your dog. They wouldn't dare tell a Nathan or Samantha, hey, we're going to arrest you if you put your foot off of your grass onto your driveway. Yeah, right. So Josh gave me this statistic today, which I was ignorant of. And I'm glad. I love the fact that, you go from cluelessness to a little bit more clued in, but I don't even think this number says the entire, the entire truth. It says the number of people shot to death by the police in the United States from 2017 to 2024 by race. And to me, the race isn't the factor. To me, the factor is that 1,163 people in 2023 died by fatal shot. They were laid in their graves by people who are supposed to be there to protect and serve. Now, I don't know what the circumstances are. There are probably some people on the list that probably don't deserve to be with us anymore. And there are cases like that. But for the most part, we have seen people die at the hands of police departments and officers that absolutely didn't deserve to die. Remember Elijah McClain? And the list could go on and on. Johnny Hurley, Johnny Wheatcroft got tased. He didn't die, but he could have. There's a lot of people out there that lost their lives because they got, basically the crud protected and served out of them. So I just want to go real quick before we get to the 7 specific examples where lives got ruined by bad cops. And are there good cops? ... We can leave that for a discussion for another day. But I wanted to go back to the Belleview, Nebraska Police Department. This is the police department that arrested this woman right here. This is Samantha from Belleview, Nebraska, who was told during a traffic stop for her niece who was in the passenger side of the car, she was told, if you take your foot off of your grass on your property and put it on the concrete driveway on your property, you will be arrested. She did, and they did. This is that Bellevue Police Department, who I forgot to point out in my last video. And if you haven't seen it, I'll put the link in the chat. Let's see if do I have it right here? Where is it? Yeah, here it is right here. Let me just stick this in the chat. If you haven't seen it, take a look at it. Make sure you share this, because I'm telling you guys, if you can be arrested in America for putting your foot on your concrete driveway on your property, not even getting close to, but walking away from a traffic stop, which means you're absolutely not obstructing, you're not interfering with anything. And she was going to the other side of the driveway so that she could basically accompany her 16-year-old son who just got off of work, who was a little scared to get out of his truck because he knows how cops operate. If you walk through the crime scene, they call it, you could get tased or shot or taken to jail or whatever. And he didn't want any part of that. So his mom, Samantha, is going over there to try to help him out and, escort him up to the house because he was a little scared, and rightly so, to approach the cops. She got arrested on her own property, not committing a crime. And not disobeying a lawful order. And if that can happen in America, then we don't live in the land of the free, home of the brave. And they have the gall to have on their Facebook page the thin blue line cult symbol, which divides the haves and the have-nots. The people with qualified immunity and the people who are walking in the fullness of their rights, who the thin blue line will absolutely put in prison for actually doing nothing wrong. But wait, there's more. They not only have the thin blue line flag proudly displayed on their Facebook page, but they are deleting comments that are speaking out against them. And I'm going to show you how that goes against Supreme Court case that says if you're a government entity and you set up a government page, you are violating the First Amendment of the people to air their grievances on your public page against the government. And yet that's what they are doing. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything ever that is credible that comes out of the black robe tyrants of the Supreme Court cult. Sometimes, like a broken clock, they get things right, twice a day. Sometimes they'll make a decision that is in accordance and is in line with natural law, not necessarily the Constitution, but natural law. But for the most part, they're there to, as Marbury versus Madison in 1803 established, they're there to interpret the Constitution for you, which means the Constitution, like I pointed out in my last AI video, is not the supreme law of the land. What is the supreme law of the land? The Supreme Court's interpretation of the Constitution is actively the supreme law of the land. If people, what it reminds me of? It reminds me of kind of the divine right of kings back in the, in the Middle Ages. It reminds me of the Holy Roman Church where, oh yeah, you may have a copy of the Bible, but you can't interpret it. Only the Pope can interpret it. All you little peasants down there, you don't even know how to read. And the ones who do know how to read, you don't know how to understand it. And those who do understand, you don't know how to interpret it. We have the Pope. He's basically the vicar of Christ. He is Christ on earth. You don't question this guy. He's got all the answers. That's what the Supreme Court is saying. Oh yeah, you might have the Second Amendment, but you don't, and you might know how to read the Second Amendment. You may even think you understand the Second Amendment, but it's up to us to interpret the Second Amendment. That makes them the arbiters of truth, of the Constitution, and of your unalienable rights, which they cannot be. It's all a fiction. It's all based and predicated on absolute lies and deception and wickedness. So Marbury versus Madison, while that one quote is in there, any law that's repugnant to the Constitution is null and void, check for that. But the overall overarching theme, the bottom line, the conclusion of Marbury versus Madison 1803 is the Supreme Court gave themselves the power of judicial review, which means we are the arbiters of the Constitution. We will tell you what your rights are. We will tell you how to carry out your rights appropriately. And that's why they look at the 27 words of the Second Amendment and they're like, well, that doesn't really mean what it says. We have the right to establish regulations and ordinances so that we can keep the general population safe. And you really need us to establish that because you guys can't do it. You guys are peasants and we're the holy ones. It's really like they think they're gods. So when you got these guys, right? So I said all that to say that the Supreme Court did establish that these government agencies, these government entities have no right to delete comments on a public page. It says court rules public officials can't block critics on Facebook. And that's what's going on the Belleview, Nebraska Police Department Facebook page. They are deleting comments that are critical of the Bellevue Police Department in the area of arresting Samantha for stepping onto her driveway on her property. If you're not outraged about this, you really got to check for a pulse because you're just a zombie walking around. You're soulless. You don't know what's happening. And you're walking around oblivious to the fact that if this happened to Samantha in Nebraska, of all places, we're not talking about New York. We're not talking about New Jersey. We're not talking about some, godforsaken place in the blue dregs of California. We're talking about this happening in Nebraska, clearly the breadbasket of America. An American got arrested on American soil, on her driveway, on her property, not committing any crime at all. And the Bellevue, Nebraska Police Department is A-OK with it. And if you question that, just look at Josh from Accountability for All's last 10 minutes with his conversation of the chief over there at that police department, who said something to the effect of, I know what you're trying to do. You're just trying to catch me in something. If that's the way you conduct your life, then you have no heart for the truth. You got no heart for justice, and you are basically a soulless specter blowing along with the winds of wickedness. That's all you are. And I think I'm not being harsh enough. If I was a cussing man, I'd be just spewing explicatives everywhere. So the Facebook page, I'm going to go to some of these comments right here because they're actually very telling. They're taking down the links to my video. They're taking down the links to Josh's video. As a matter of fact, last time I looked, there wasn't even any links left. Let me see if I can go to some comments here. Yeah, this comment right here from Rob says, apparently people aren't allowed to be on their own property anymore in this town. Hopefully that woman sues the town into bankruptcy. And isn't that sad? Because if she does sue the town and gets a hefty settlement, guess who it's not going to affect? It's not going to affect the police chief. It's not going to affect badge number 331. It's not going to affect any of the cops who were involved in executing tyranny on American soil on an individual American's property. Stop singing over the land of the free and the home of the brave, because it ain't. It ain't. The Cornhusker state has massive tyranny growing just fine, like a petri dish. It's like they're culturing evil and it's just growing. The petri dish is just kind of flopping out. It's just set itself on the lab table and it's all growing and just metastasizing and just taking over. I'm telling you, we have been taken over by, I'm sorry, Sean from Long Island Audit, by the Gestapo. I'm not sorry. I love Sean, man. Sean's doing some good work. Do we have disagreements? Yeah. Do I love the guy? Yep. But you got to admit, you got to call a spade a spade, a spade a spade. If it moves like a cow, if it walks like a cow, if it looks like a cow, if it smells like a cow, guys, you got a steaming pile of BS there, because that's all that's coming out of that cow, this law enforcement cow. Rob says, deleting comments, I see. Also, the fact that you have a gang flag on your page is very disturbing. Amen. John Goldstein says, deleting comments or banning people for petitioning their government for redress of grievances is a violation of the First Amendment. But then they don't care about that. They violated the fundamental rights of human being to be free to move on your own property. And if you move in the wrong area on your property, you get arrested. Didn't you know that, Samantha? What's wrong with you? So it says, just real quick, and then we're going to get to the 7 specific examples of how real individuals got not only economically terrorized, but their lives got destroyed by bad cops. ACLU says one of the core purposes of the First Amendment is to allow people, regardless of their views. That's crazy. I don't even like that, man. We got to change our terminology. We got to change our outlook. We have to be burning white light with white hot purpose about what's actually going on. You're a human being. You know what? I hate complexity. I hate unnecessary complexity. I hate it when somebody obscures the rock solid, bottom line, fundamental truth that makes up all truth. I don't care what you are. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what your position is. I don't care how much power you think you have. You're a human being. I'm a human being. I'm not above you. You're not above me. You're not below me. I'm not below you. We're on the equal playing field. If we can all start there and just build off that with solidity, just build on top of that. Like a skinny man building muscle tissue. It takes time. It takes perseverance. It takes consistency. It takes constant nutrition. But you can build it. And when you build that fundamental base, then you got the strength to stand. So when it says one of the core purposes of the First Amendment is to allow, the First Amendment doesn't allow you or permit you or give you a license to do anything. All it does is codify that which is already in existence. You have the right to speak. You have the right to worship whatever God you want to. You have a right to air your grievances to whomever. RAPS, R-A-P-P-S. Religion, you have the right to assemble, petition, press. You have the right to be pressed. Speech. You got the right. Nobody's permitting you as though some cosmic Father is bestowing upon you like he's giving you allowance here. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have this. No, that's not even what the founding fathers, as Masonic as they may have been, as wrong as they may have been on some things, that's not even what they thought. Yeah, there was hypocrisy there. There was inconsistency there, but there's some gold nuggets in their writings that we can all absorb and take into ourselves and become more powerful, knowledgeable human beings, because knowledge is power. If you guys are okay with me talking, like I am, honestly, I am not talking down to you. I may be ranting a little bit, but if you view it as valuable, put a 1 in the room. If you view it as valueless and you want me to shut up and just move along, put a 2 in the room. But the First Amendment, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence is not an allowance given to these poor peasants who wouldn't have it if somebody didn't write it. If a nuclear bomb went off in Washington, D.C. and destroyed the National Archive, which contains the original, supposedly the original Declaration of Independence and Constitution, if that went away today, if that eroded, if it faded away, if it deteriorated, if it disintegrated, you would still have these rights. Why? Because you're a human being. I'm a human being. I respect your rights because I respect my rights. And when somebody crosses that line, I don't know. I'll use a religious term, but I don't mean it in the literal sense, but you're demonic. These cops right here who did this to Samantha, this cop right here, badge number 331. What was his name? I don't know. If you remember his name, put it up. It's badge number 331 from the Nebraska Police Department, the Belleview, Nebraska Police Department. You're demonic because you actually did the very thing you wouldn't want done to you. Therefore, you violated the golden rule. You violated the very basic tenet of what it means to be a human. That's how bad you are. It's no different than Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy or Charles Manson. Or anybody who's, Genghis Khan. It's no different. As a matter of fact, the way you're acting, you thin blue line cult members, the way you're acting is no different in principle than what Genghis Khan or Alexander the Great or Joseph Stalin or Mao Zedong or Pol Pot or any of the list of horrendous evil criminals did. Doesn't it disturb you that you have within you the basic building blocks of what makes the most historic, heinous, psychopathic miscreant that ever walked the face of the earth? Doesn't it even bother you? I don't understand how it couldn't, unless you're sociopathic or psychopathic. That's the only way, because you lack empathy. You lack the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. You're actually doing something you know you wouldn't want done to you, and you're going to do it anyway. And then your thin blue line buddies come on board and they applaud you in doing it. They support you in doing it. Nobody holds you back and puts you in the torture cuffs. Why? Because you guys are all playing for the same team owners, and that's against the people. And that's what your thin blue line flag represents, that you are the tyrants and we're the peasants, and we better lick your boots or you're going to stomp on us. What the frick? I promise I will get to the super chats. Thank you guys for being members. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up, for sharing and everything on this channel. It means a lot, because what we got to do on channels like this and other great channels out there, like John Eagle's in here, Leroy Truth Investigations is in here, is get out the truth and change the hearts of the masses. Because it is not the majority who will prevail, but the irate and tireless minority who are keen on setting what? Brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. So getting back to this court thing, which, I got a serious problem with this first sentence. One of the core purposes of the First Amendment is to allow people, regardless of the views, to hold the government accountable through expression. So if your elected representatives has an official Facebook page where she invites comments, they're going to talk about one specific person here, but it applies broadly to anybody who would be a public official, whether you're talking about a judge, whether you're talking about a DA, whether you're talking about a law enforcement agent or a department. These are public pages, basically publicly funded, and you're actually, you have a social media presence that is government. And now you got to abide by and shackle yourself to the concepts articulated in the First Amendment. So if your elected representative, for example, has an official Facebook page where she invites comments, can she block you from commenting because you criticize her work? Like, there's much criticism over here for the Belleview, Nebraska Police Department. According to a federal court of appeals court, the answer is a resounding no. Not just no, but a resounding no. The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that, here, and I'm going to open that in a new tab, that the interactive portion of a public official's Facebook page is a public forum, so an official cannot block people from it because of the opinions they hold. And why would they, after they know this? Because they know that there are no negative consequences and repercussions for doing something that is antithetical to the First Amendment. And we got to start really making them accountable, like not just firing somebody, but treating them like the criminals that they are. The case arose after the chair of a local board of supervisors in Virginia, Phyllis Randall, briefly blocked a critic from her official Facebook page and deleted a comment that he made about her colleague's management of public funds. The critic, Brian Davison, represented by the Knight First Amendment Institute, filed a lawsuit arguing that Randall had violated his First Amendment rights by removing him from a public forum, similar to what the Bellevue, Nebraska Police Department is doing right now on their Facebook page with regard to Samantha and Nathan, who they economically terrorized by throwing her into jail and then putting up a bail amount of $5,000 frickin' dollars for our fellow American Samantha. Such BS, so infuriating. Okay, so violated his First Amendment rights by removing him from the public forum, space the government makes available for people's expressive activity because she disagreed with his views. Randall countered that she has the authority to control the page. This government official said, no, I have the authority to control the page, including the comments. We filed a friend of the court in support of Davison, arguing that officials cannot prevent people from joining in a public conversation because of their viewpoints, and the 3-judge appeals court panel agreed. So it was unanimous. All the judges said, yep, if you're a public official and you're operating in a public capacity and you have a public Facebook page or something where people can comment, you have no right to take down anybody's comments because you don't like what they said, or because they posted a video that exposes your frickin' evil. You know what you guys need to do at the Belleview, Nebraska Police Department? You need to drop all charges, refund her bond money. She bonded with a $500 bond. Refund her money and actually compensate her for troubling her life. And it needs to come out of the pockets of the 3 or 4 officers, including the lieutenant, who arrived on the scene and knew full well what they did in violation of the Constitution. Not 1 penny of that money should come out of any Bellevue resident's pocket. Not 1 penny. And all the cops who were complicit in committing that heinous crime against Nathan and Samantha and their kids need to be jailed. Why, Brian? Because that's justice. That's what justice demands. And then that message needs to go out far and wide so that all the other tyrants or would-be tyrants can get a clue and not do that themselves. Unfreaking believable. And then Rob says, he puts the definition of obstruction, which Samantha clearly did not. Deleting comments just makes things worse. Road pirates policing for profit, say Rob Novak. TJ Kelly says, get ready, blue clowns. 4,000 views in an hour. Nothing but tyrants that don't even know the law. They don't even know. I don't care if they know the law. I don't care about policy. I don't care about rules. I don't care about regulation. You know what I care about? I care about rights, and I care about freedom, and I care about humans actually just being human. Not monsters. Stop being monsters. Stop being thin blue line monsters. How about that? So we got the Bellevue, Nebraska Police Department being extremely dishonest, wanting to fly under the radar in the cover of darkness under their thin blue line gang frickin' flag that they need to be taken down. They need to be here. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Here is the Facebook. I'm putting the link right now. Here you go. There's the link to the Bellevue Facebook page. If you lose that somehow, then you can go to I have the link under this video right here. This is the last video entitled "So Bad You'll Think It Happened in North Korea," and I'm not joking. I have the original video, which you need to go to. That's Nathan's channel right here. He's got 304 subscribers. Let's see if he's got any more now. Okay, he's still got 304 subscribers. And also the link to the Bellevue Police Department. So I'm going to put that again in the chat room if you want to pay them a visit. You know what we should do? Maybe we'll do a follow-up video and see if the comment count. So right now we have 336 comments and 4 shares. 336 comments. What can I do? How do I do this? I wonder if I can save link, embed, report post. Let's see. How can you know what? Just go to this first thing right here and we'll see if the comment and share count rises. I don't mind sharing this thing right here. How do I share? Oh, look at this. Copy link. All right, here's the link. Here's the specific link that you want to comment on. There's the link to the Bellevue, Nebraska Police Department Facebook page. So we're going to see. So today is May 1st. By the way, welcome to May. Can you believe April's over? So this is May 1st at 8:50 p.m. Central Standard Time, and there are 336 comments. Now, if this decreases at all, we know they're deleting comments again. 336 comments. I wonder if we can get that up to 1,000 comments by this time tomorrow night. Probably. I don't know. But they are doing that which the courts have ruled you can't do. And that's the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, not the Supreme Court. But they're doing what they know that the courts have said don't do. They know they're doing what is in violation of the First Amendment, whether the court said yes, you can do it, or no, you can't. and they know that they're being freaking tyrants and trying to protect the Thin Blue Line gang in the face of victimizing an American on her own property. By the way, they have a GoFundMe, and I want to tell you, I encourage them. I talked to Nathan today, and I encouraged him to get a GoFundMe. He didn't have a GoFundMe prior to me saying, hey, you should probably set up a GoFundMe, because I'm sure a lot of people would like to help you, because this is a freaking pathetic situation that the tyrants have put you in. So I'm copying the link right now. I'm going to put this. Here's the link right there. And, feel free to share that out. They only have $5 raised of $10,000. Now, I don't know how much they actually need. It'd be great if they could drop all the charges, and I anticipate that they probably will, because, the optics on this look really bad. Looks really bad for the Belleview, Nebraska Police Department and for the higher ups. And again, I don't know if you've watched it, but you really should watch. Let me just go to, let's see, where is it? Cops harass. Okay, there's that. You really should watch Accountability for All's video right here. Yeah, cops arrest mother for being in her yard.
Guy's committed.
Okay, at the end of this, here's Josh sitting in his car talking to the commander of that police station. Here's Josh right here. By the way, if you have not, Josh does a really good job, and this guy is freaking articulate. He is knowledgeable, and he uses that knowledge to help people, which completely endears me to him. So check out Josh's channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't become a member, join. Make sure you got the bell notifications turned on, because this guy is one of those guys who he wants to move and shake the earth too in the favor of freedom and away from tyranny. So there's Josh. Okay, so let me just get all these in one place. There's Josh's. There's Josh's. Here is the Bellevue Police Department Facebook page. That's the link there. This is the fundraiser for Nathan and Samantha. And by the way, if you guys want to give to Nathan and Samantha, remind me to revisit their GoFundMe page, and I'll refresh the page and I'll read some of your comments if you guys choose to do that. And just remember, I encouraged Nathan to do this. He hadn't done it, and he set it up because I suggested that he do that, because how do you get help unless you let people know that you need help? I know if it was me, I would want help. I know if it was you, I would want to help you. All you got to do is let people know. And then I'm going to give you this link to Nathan's channel. There you go. None of us is greater than all of us. And I mean that. None of us is greater than all of us. And it's out of love and sincere appreciation for the blessings that I've been given that I support Josh, defy tyranny, applaud any kind of good ruling that might come down in favor of freedom, and want to stand beside a Nathan or a Samantha or an Elisha McLean or a Johnny Hurley's mom who was devastated when the Arvada police killed her, or Daniel Shaver's wife and mourning 2 kids for being blown away by Philip Brailsford. It's out of love and human compassion, which is the true strength of humanity, that I do this, and that I even have this freaking social media presence. Otherwise, why am I even alive? What's it all for? All right, I was going to go over this, but I see that we're at 38 minutes, and I don't want to really extend this beyond an hour, this live stream. I wanted to go over this. This is the YouTube channel Real Crime Unmasked, and the name of this video is, this is why our justice system is flawed. I would say that the justice system is absolutely not flawed. It's humming away exactly the way the powers that shouldn't be have designed it to hum away. And it's designed to wreck and ruin lives and to parasitically suck off the rest of us. So here are 7 solid examples of real human beings, our brothers and sisters, who have been wrecked and ruined and demoralized and dehumanized by people who run a system that don't give a damn about us. I will be interrupting a little bit frequently, because you can't, on this kind of stuff with this popular of a channel, there's probably some kind of, copyright or whatever. I hope it doesn't bother you, and I hope you think that my commentary is worth even listening to, but we're going to go ahead and get into this.
In this episode, we delve into the heart-wrenching stories of 7 individuals who faced the ultimate injustice. Wrongfully convicted, they spent years behind bars for crimes they did not commit. Discover their journey through the flawed justice system, the struggle for exoneration, and the emotional moment of regaining their freedom. This is John Bunn. He was wrongfully imprisoned for 27 years for a crime he didn't commit.
I'm an innocent man, Your Honor, and I have always been an innocent man, Your Honor.
Now, I know a lot of people say this, but he is an innocent man going through a system that is literally acting like the train while he was sitting there helplessly on the track, and there's absolutely nothing he can do. And so what does he become a part of? I mean, because guys, this is a policing for profit. This is a justice system for profit. This is a court for profit and a prison for profit system. This is the prison industrial complex about to receive another warm body that is absolutely powerless to secure any semblance of freedom. And it's outrageous. And these 7 that we're going to go over, they're just representatives of many, many, countless people who are going through the same thing. Chili DeCastro is one of them. Press for Ranker is another one. Hendry is another one. Flex from Flex Your Freedoms is another one. And the list goes on and on. How many have been sucked dry by the system?
I've always been innocent, he stated to the court. At 14, in Brooklyn, NYPD's Detective Louis Scarcella arrested him. Bunn spent 16 years in prison and 11 on parole, continually striving to establish his innocence. His conviction was eventually reversed due to Scarcella's misconduct and the lack of valid grounds for his arrest.
So there was no evidence to put him away. There was no, even on the surface, there was no evidence to put him away. But what did they do? They put him away anyway. And keep that Scarcella, keep Scarcella's name in mind, because we're going to revisit him in the next case. This guy's got a pattern.
It's important everyone knows this, Bunn emphasized. An innocent man was jailed. After a 27-year struggle, he finally achieved exoneration.
Y'all convicted and had a wrong man in prison, and now y'all still have somebody that's on the loose that's right now that killed someone, and that families out there running free.
There's the double-edged sword. Not only, I mean, it's bad enough that you got an innocent guy in prison, but you got another guy out there who actually did it, who's probably going to kill again. You got the wrong guy. Your system and everybody in the system knows it's the wrong guy. It's just like, I don't know if this is going to go through Kevin Strickland, but Kevin Strickland was in jail for, I don't see Kevin Strickland on here, but Kevin Strickland was in jail for 43 years in the state just north of me in Missouri. 43 years for a triple homicide. Everybody, including the prosecution, knew he didn't commit. And they kept him in anyway. 43, not 43 minutes, 43 hours, 43 months, 43 days, 43 years.
Bunn subsequently sued New York City and Detective Scarcella. This is David Ranta, who unjustly spent 22 years in prison for a murder he didn't commit.
2 decades.
In Brooklyn, he was arrested by Detective Louis Scarcella.
There's Scarcella again. Look at old Scarcella with his nice little mafia suit on there. How fitting.
Marking another case of Scarcella's wrongful convictions. Ranta was singled out in a police lineup orchestrated by Scarcella and wrongly identified as the perpetrator. Years later, it emerged that Scarcella had influenced the key witness to identify Ranta. With no physical evidence tying Ranta to the crime and questions surrounding the integrity of the evidence, his conviction was highly questionable. Sentenced to 37.5 years to life, Ranta endured over 2 decades in jail. Eventually, the witnesses recanted, admitting they were coerced into testifying against him.
Eventually? What's wrong with you witnesses? What's going on here? I had to take my hat off because I'm sitting here just dripping with sweat. Anytime I see this kind of stuff, any kind of injustice, I know it riles you guys up too. It's just, it raises your heart rate. It makes you sweat. It makes you start shaking. It's like, I can't even believe this. We can't even comprehend the depth of the evil and the amount of people, innocent people who are sitting in today's prison system, just making money for the system.
This led to the overturning of his conviction.
Mr. Brandt, to say that I'm sorry for what you have endured would be an understatement and grossly inadequate.
You think?
But I say it to you anyway.
Following his release, Ranta shared emotional moments with his family, carrying his few possessions on his back. Finally free, Ranta later received compensation of $2 million from the state and $6.4 million from New York City.
Can you imagine that? If you had a 2-year-old when you went into prison unjustly, when they finally let you out 20 years later, now, or 22 years later, now you got a 24-year-old. Last time you saw him, he was a little baby in diapers. Now he's a 24-year-old, quarter of a century old man. You've missed all that time that you can never reclaim.
This is Susan Mellon. Susan Mellon's life changed drastically when she was wrongly convicted based on false testimony and sentenced to life without parole. At 42, Mellon was arrested in Los Angeles while buying a Happy Meal for her daughter at McDonald's. That day marked the last time she would see her daughter for 7 years, as she was accused of murdering her ex-boyfriend.
So I would never let hit you to anybody. I didn't hate Rick. I would never let anybody do somebody I hated. Or I still, I had told him, said, man, he was good to me. He was good to me. He was good to my kids.
Her conviction hinged on the testimony of an informant who falsely claimed Mellon confessed to the murder. Mellon spent 17 years in prison.
So she got convicted on hearsay? Some informant said that she confessed to it, and that's not even evident. On it, I'm talking about on its face, that's not even deception. It's not evidence. You should only go to jail if there is rock solid evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that you were the one that committed the crime.
Imprisoned until it was revealed that the informant was a known liar and unreliable.
I believe, based on what I've read, that she's innocent. And for that reason, I think the criminal justice system failed.
So like this, there's no closure to that. So the judge said, based on what I believe, you should say, based on the fact that it doesn't matter what I believe, think, feel, ruminate over. Based on the fact that there is no evidence, she shouldn't spend one more second in jail. How about that, Judge? That's what's just. Otherwise, you can just go, well, I'm going to put you in prison because I believe you're guilty. Such BS, man. Everywhere there's BS. We have to unscramble our brains.
A whirlwind of emotions, Mellon was finally released. One of her first acts of freedom was taking her daughter to McDonald's for that long-awaited Happy Meal.
Oh, my God.
She received $597,000 in compensation from the state of California and was later awarded $12 million by the Los Angeles City Council.
Yeah, who does that come out of? What official heads rolled and went into jail? What prosecuting attorney got locked up and had the torture cuffs placed on him? What cops who were involved in this whole scenario of digging up all this dirt and gathering this informant? And what happened to the informant? Did the informant, is the informant now relegated to a life of 3 hots and a cot?
Luis Vargas faced a grave injustice, being wrongfully sentenced to 55 years to life for crimes he never committed. At 29, while living in Los Angeles, he was accused of 3 sexual assaults. The police, noting similar crime descriptions, wrongly concluded Vargas was responsible for all 3. Despite his innocence, Vargas was convicted on all charges and spent 16 years in prison. His liberation came when the California Innocence Project conducted DNA tests on the remaining physical evidence and victim's clothing, which conclusively proved he wasn't the perpetrator.
He is in fact innocent because the evidence will show that it undermines the prosecution's case.
That's how it should be done. Did you see that? Look what the judge said.
Which conclusively proved.
That's what it should be based on. It should be based on evidence. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, you are guilty. Look, we have video evidence. Look, we have DNA evidence that's corroborated. It's like not just one person read the DNA, but there was some accountability there. There was an accountability tree, an accountability trail.
He wasn't the perpetrator.
Is in fact innocent because
innocent because the evidence will show.
The evidence will show that it undermines the
prosecution's case. So it's based on facts. It's based on evidence. That's how you do it. But he should have never spent 16 years in prison anyway.
During his exoneration, Vargas remained silent, absorbing the moment of his freedom. His only wish, as told to his mother, was to enjoy simple freedoms once released.
Told me, Mom, when you see me, I am outside, please buy me a big hamburger and we eat it together.
After his exoneration, Vargas was awarded $886,000 in compensation by the state. Daniel Villegas'
For
story
16 years?
is a harrowing tale of injustice and resilience. Wrongfully imprisoned for 18 years for a double homicide he didn't commit, his ordeal began in El Paso, Texas. At just 16, an El Paso detective allegedly coerced a confession from him through threats of violence and the death penalty. Villegas signed a confession drafted by the detectives, though he attempted to retract it mere hours later. Despite this, he faced charges for 2 counts of capital murder. The prosecution's case hinged solely on this coerced confession, leading to a hung jury in the first trial. However, a retrial resulted in a guilty verdict, and Villegas received a life sentence. Villegas spent 18 years incarcerated before the verdict was overturned. During his time on bond, he married and started a family. The third trial then became a pivotal moment.
Verdict Form B. We, the jury, find the defendant Daniel Villegas not guilty of...
This trial would determine whether Villegas could stay with his family or return to prison for life.
Court. You are no longer under any conditions in this court. You are free to leave.
Ultimately, Villegas was declared a free man. Following his exoneration, Villegas reportedly filed a lawsuit against the city of El Paso. Ricky Jackson's life was
Man, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, phew, I don't know what will. Phew, man.
irrevocably changed by a wrongful conviction. He spent an astonishing 39 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Arrested at 18 in Cleveland, Ohio, his conviction was largely based on the testimony of a 12-year-old boy, Eddie Vernon, who later admitted he had not witnessed the crime. Under police pressure, Vernon testified against Jackson, leading to his conviction. Initially sentenced to death, Jackson spent 2 years on death row before his sentence was commuted to life in prison. Decades later, at the age of 52, Vernon revealed the truth. He never witnessed the murder. This revelation led to the dismissal of charges against Jackson, marking the end of his 39-year ordeal.
Yeah, but then how... 39 years. Oh, my God. Just makes you sick, man. 39 days sucks. 39 minutes in prison. But how soon after that confession, where they realized that this guy's innocent, did they actually, push through all the paperwork and all the red tape and the complexities? How long did he have to stay in jail after that? It's not like the guy confessing, like, make a phone call. Okay, get him out right now. Not going to happen. Doesn't happen like that. They have to go through the system and the process.
Mr. Jackson, you're going to be free to go. I suggest to you that life is filled with small victories, and this is a big one. Know who your friends are, because everybody's going to want a piece of you, and you better trust the people who you know you can trust. So I wish you good luck. Thank you, Your Honor.
The moment
Yeah, I'd hardly call it a victory when 39 years of your life was just flushed down the toilet by the state.
Jackson heard the news of his freedom was profound and life-changing.
Extraordinary. I'm very happy. Needless to say, words can't express how I feel right now. I'm just glad to be out, glad to be a free man.
As he stepped outside as a free man for the first time in nearly 4 decades, it was a moment of triumph and relief. In compensation, Jackson received $1 million from the state and an additional $2.65 million for lost income. Kirsten Lobato's story
For almost 40 years in prison, you only got like $3.5 million.
is one of wrongful conviction and eventual vindication. Convicted at 18 for the murder of a homeless man in Las Vegas, her life took a drastic turn. Initially found guilty of first-degree murder, a retrial led to a conviction on the lesser charge of voluntary manslaughter, with a sentence of 13 to 45 years. Lobato spent 16 years in prison before new evidence emerged. It was revealed that on the actual day of the victim's death, she was 3 hours away with her family, making it impossible for her to have committed the crime.
Wait a second. If that's true, How did the defense attorney not bring that up in the court and provide all the evidence that backed that claim? But she spent 16 years in prison when they had that to deliver to the judge and to the prosecution? What the frick? I got to listen to that again. I'm not aware of this case.
It was revealed that Lobato spent 16 years in prison before new evidence emerged. It was revealed that on the actual day of the victim's death, she was 3 hours away with her family, making it impossible for her to have committed the crime.
How did it take 16 years to bring up that fact?
This critical evidence led to her release.
I'm so overwhelmed and...
Stephanie Martin says in the chat room, I know a man falsely accused spent 14 months in jail. When found innocent, he was grateful for freedom. Put a one in the room if you personally, not heard about, but you personally know somebody who spent, a length of time in prison for having committed no crime.
So happy and so grateful for all the people that have believed in me and fought for me for all these years.
Lobato stepped outside as a free woman for the first time in
there's kind of a lesson here. You need to live your life in such a way where if anybody did convict you or accuse you of that kind of crime, some kind of heinous crime, robbery or whatever, live yourself in such a way that everybody who knows you will be like, no frickin' way. I would bet my life that Brian did not do that. And matter of fact, live your life in such a way where if somebody says this person said something, because I've had this happen to me a lot in the last 6 months on several different people. And here's my policy, guys. I will not talk about somebody in a negative manner if they are not in my presence. If somebody is saying something, I will listen to them and I'll tell you what, why don't we get so-and-so on a 3-way call? Or why don't we all meet up and let's all talk about this? Invariably, the person who's bringing something and be like, I don't think that's necessary, it's not going to work, whatever. It's like, okay, then we're going to stop talking about it. If it's not really that serious for us all to get together, that's my policy. Because I wouldn't want somebody, you know why? It's the golden rule. It's do to others what you would want done to you. I would not want that done to me. Conversely, don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you. I wouldn't want somebody talking about me in a negative way where I'm not there to defend myself. So live your life in such a way where if somebody says, you know what Brian said about you, blah, 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 they'll be like, no freaking way. I know him. I've known him for years. Ain't no freaking way he said that, let alone did what you said he did. And if you think he did, tell you what, let's get him on the horn and let's all talk about this. And then I want you to come up with your evidence. Where's the evidence? If we conducted the affairs of our life like that, there's like no foothold that anybody could have into your life to cast any kind of negative dispersion on you, whether it's through action or through word. I mean, and what a comforting thing. What a way to go to sleep at night. The most comfortable pillow you will ever own is a clear conscience. I know not only did I not do wrong to any of my fellow human beings, but I went out of my way to try to do something right and make this world a little bit better.
Over a decade, a moment filled with emotion and relief.
So where to now?
Okay, well, we got more
Let's
people
go shop.
Following her release, Lobato filed a lawsuit against the Las Vegas Police Department. Her claim for compensation is currently in progress. In this episode,
so I just want to close out because they did not go over Kevin Strickland. Here's Kevin Strickland right here. This is the guy that I continually talk about, wrongfully convicted of 3 murders. It was a triple homicide in 1979. It was now free. He was 43 frickin' years in jail. He went into jail when he was 18 and came out as a 62-year-old man. In the meantime, people that he knew that were his kin grew up. Mother and father died, couldn't attend the funeral. People got married, couldn't be a part of that. No Christmases, missed all the Thanksgivings. Time that you will never get back. He got millions of dollars, but you know what? That's not even you can't even call that a victory. If you were to ask Kevin Strickland, do you want $20 million, or do you want the last 43 years of your life back where you can actually live it as a free man? You know what he would say. You know what he would say. Kansas City man who was jailed for more than 40 years for 3 murders was released from prison on Tuesday after the judge ruled that he was wrongfully convicted. Kevin Strickland, 62, has always maintained that he was home watching television and had nothing to do with the killings, which happened when he was 18 years old. He learned of the decision. Oh, by the way, the guys who actually committed the murder, I don't know if it's going to say it here, but the 2 guys that actually committed the murder, he was convicted in the deaths of Larry Ingram, 21, Johnny Walker, and Sherry Black, 22. The guys who actually committed the murder went to prison for 10 years each and were freed 3 decades before innocent Kevin Strickland. How about that for insult to injury? Unfreaking believable. Okay, I promised I'm getting out of here quickly, and let me read the super chats. Get my water bottle out of the way. Let's see. Let me bring this over here to the center screen so I'm not looking. Let's see. Where's this going? Hold on one second. I will definitely read the super chats. I just got to move this over here like that. And then move this screen over here like that. Okay. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks for... Hey, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Hit thumbs up before you vamoose out of here. I'm the world's worst at that. I'll be watching a live stream of one of my favorite YouTubers, my favorite First Amendment auditors, and I, who always remind people to hit the like button, will forget to hit the like button, So please hit the like. I really appreciate it. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Dave, Joker, Deb, Nimrod, Joel? Let's see. Did anybody say 1 in the room? Look at all those ones of people who personally know somebody who spent a measure of time, a significant measure of time in prison for having done nothing wrong. What's up, Random Shan, sorry. Born Again, Rez, Vegas Mike. All right, so the super chats are Javro drops a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Tarnished Viking became a member. By the way, if you want to support the channel, one of the ways you can do it is by becoming a channel member, going to Cash App, grabbing a shirt that you can put on a design that you can put on a shirt, hoodie, mug, hat, cell phone case, whatever you want. This one is my favorite right here. Tyranny. Got the Here's the Deal logo and Tyranny on the back. This thing's pretty filthy because I wear it all the time. It's the thin blue line of tyranny. That's actually what I see every time I see a thin blue line flag. I just see the word tyranny. I want my boot on your neck and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what I see. Oh yeah. You know what? I will go to the fundraiser also. This is the fundraiser for Samantha and Nathan, who just got basically economically devastated by the Belleview, Nebraska Police Department. Let me put that in the chat real quick. Boom. All right, and I'll refresh the page too before we get out of here because I promised I would do that. So Javro 504K drops a super chat. Thank you very much. Tarnished Viking became a member. Stomper became a member. Seldwin, has been a member. Stomper's been a member for 2 months. Tarnished Viking is a new member. Thank you, Tarnished Viking. Thank you for 435 likes. I appreciate that. I always slaughter your name, and I'm sorry. You've been a member for 5 months. Selwydden. I don't know how to inflect that. I got the emphasis on the wrong syllable on that one. Brooke Cameron has been a member for 4 months. Thank you, Brooke. Colin Lassiter is a new member. Welcome aboard, Colin. We got a call. I like that. We got a call. Gifted 5 Here's the Deal memberships. We got a call. Thank you very much for that. And Stomper says, we don't stop. I'm going to give a like on that. Oh, I can't like from here? What's up with that? Why can't I like? Do I have to go over here to like it? No, it's gone. All right. So some people I know put that on their cars to virtue signal and potentially avoid interactions with police. Put what? The thin blue line flag? Holly says, thank you for everything you do and for being my voice when I'm not brave. I love everything, dude. Holly, that's freaking humbling. Thank you. Supplanter says, I saw a guy at the coffee shop wearing a Callion Noir t-shirt and a Here's the Deal cap. Your head explode? No way. That's hilarious. I would actually like to talk to Callion Noir because I got a question about his stand on the Second Amendment. It doesn't seem that solid to me, even though that's what he's all about. Yeah. He's a brother. He's a brother. He's my brother. BIP Solar Bear drops $1.99. That's my $5 in the GoFundMe. Join me, peeps. Hey, thank you. Thank you, BIP Solar Bear. Why can't I like this? Oh, there it goes. No, it didn't. That's not my like. It's something else. Axe says, Brian, you demand. Selwyn. Hey, Selwyn. Am I saying your name right? Selwyn. Selwyn. Selwyn? What's up? What's the matter, you? Hey, it's a wonderful place. Hey, Brig Jonesy's here. HTD for the win. All right, let me. Oh man, it went from 5 to 45. Good job, guys. Thank you. Let's see. Let's go to sharing donation drives. Let's see. Let's see. Become early adopters. Got Ronnie Breeden, Frederick Stevens, and Anonymous. Those are the three who donated to Nate and Samantha. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Selwyn says, yeah, but I pronounced it two ways. Dave's channel, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. JT Soup, thanks for being a member. Brick Jonesy, thanks for being a member. We need to get the gang tattoo on record, Blue Line Gang, says Stephanie. Okay, guys. Thanks. It's you have no idea how humbling it is for me to see just, one or two of you in the chat, let alone a couple hundred of you. So thanks for being here. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon. And I say that because I want our message popularized. If there's something you think that I'm wrong about, that I need correction on, hey, correction is the slice of life, right? Words from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Ain't that right? So just let me know. Hit me up. Contact at High Impact Flicks. Hey, Brian, I have a video for you to critique. B-Dub, drop the link. Give me a link at contact at highimpactflix.com. And I keep telling people that it's in the description under every one of my videos, but it may not be. It may have, something may have happened. Let me see. Let's see. Oh yeah, here it is. Its email is contact at highimpactflix.com. Let me drop that right here. Oh, and also I saw the name Corey Peacock, but I have a live stream coming up on this channel on May 3rd at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time with Corey, who is the friend of, let me see if I can bring up his channel, who's the friend of Mark Passio. They do a lot of work together. Corey. Yeah, right here. Can you guys see that? This is Corey. Nature is the answer. What they're trying to do is create, and this is what we need. Guys, we need this. We need leadership in this area, and we need people who are, who participate in this. We got to create some kind of parallel economy so we can actually be free. If you can do me a favor and subscribe to Corey's channel, where is that? Right here. That's Corey's channel. Give him a shout out. Matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll go to the last. See, it's pathetic. People like this put out really good content, really thought-provoking content. And this is a 19-minute video. I haven't seen this video right here. Let me just drop this link. And if you can go to his channel, he's only got 2,600 subscribers. He'd be stoked if you gave him a listen. Give him a chance. Subscribe to his channel. Hit the bell notification icon. And let's see if we can't get something going, because on Friday the 3rd at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to do a live stream with Corey from Nature is the Answer. That's this YouTube channel right here. It's going to be some good stuff. So I appreciate you guys. Just subbed you up, Corey. Oh, wait, is that another Corey? So guys, I appreciate it. Remember, the price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. Remember this: it is so easy to be wrong and to persist in being wrong when the costs of being wrong are paid by others. Who does that sound like? I will see you guys.